So without giving you the most boring slide in the world that just has a listing of all the criteria for this, I tried to lump it into categories. So we've got, there are essentially 10 diagnostic criteria that we use, and we kind of go through it in a checklist format regarding someone's substance use. And you can see that pharmacologic is the last one. If you can see it, it's all the way down on the bottom of the slide here, where you have tolerance and withdrawal. These are no longer necessary or sufficient to have one qualify for a substance use disorder, but they're important to kind of also keep in mind when looking at someone who may have this. So we still have them there, but they're kind of de-emphasized. 8 of the 10 remaining diagnostic criteria are all behavioral. So impaired control, someone is using larger amounts over time, than they had anticipated or that they had wanted to. The efforts or desires to cut down they are unable to cut down despite their efforts to do so. Time spent using or recovering becomes inordinate relative to what they had wanted. A new diagnostic criteria is this concept of craving, that you crave that next cigarette. That if you have cravings, then you have a diagnostic criteria for substance use disorder. What we do is now in the new classification of this is we add up, how much how many of these social impairment criteria do they have, how many of the impaired control, how many of the risky use of the substance do they have. We add them up. If they have 2 or 3, we consider it mild. If they have 4 to 5, we consider it moderate. And can anyone guess what greater than or equal to 6 might be? Severe, yes. Now these things were not, these stratifications were not drawn up randomly. It's not like someone looked at this and said, oh, well, if you have 2 of these criteria, then it's sort of mild. It's not too bad. No, in order to come up with these, they actually correlated the number of these diagnostic criteria that you have with impairments either socially or medically down the road. So mild constitutes a lower risk of having a medical or social consequence of your substance use relative to someone who has 4 or 5 or, as you can imagine, 6 or greater.
Does someone you love suffer from drug addiction? Accidental drug overdoses are the #1 cause of unnatural deaths. Don't wait until it's too late. Call our 24/7 helpline at 1-800-648-6734. A caring addiction specialist is awaiting your call.